Good evening, Twitter. I thought we'd take some time out of our daily lives and sit down for a nice little chat. There are, of course, those who do not want us to speak. I suspect now even calls are being placed from the White House to members of big tech. I can almost hear George Takei and Stephen King tweeting furiously on their phones, and very soon federal agents will be on their way. Why? Because words lead us to the truth, and the truth is, there is something very wrong with this platform, isn't there? Cruelty and injustice, intolerance and oppression, and where once you had the freedom to object, to think, and to speak as you saw fit, until now you have had censors and systems of surveillance, coercing your conformity and soliciting your submission. How did this happen? Who's to blame? Well, certainly there are those who are more responsible than others, and they will be held accountable. But again, truth be told, if you're looking for the guilty, you need only look into a mirror. Oh, I know why you did it. You were afraid. Who wouldn't be? Shadow bans, reply deboosting, suspensions. Fear got the better of you, and in your panic you turned to then CEO Parag Agrawal. He promised you order. He promised you peace. He promised to silence your political opponents and those with opposing views. And all he demanded in return was your silent, obedient consent. Tonight we end that silence, and the war for free speech can begin.
Well, it would appear the war has begun. People are picking sides, and we're kind of getting little bits of information at a time, really from the source of it all, Twitter and Elon Musk, sharing some pretty clear tweets on exactly what's going on with Twitter, the Apple Store, essentially bullying Twitter. We had some big endorsements this morning from Ron DeSantis, the exact kind of stuff I want to hear from Trump on, for example, whether or not that they're going to hold some of these social media gateways to task for their duopoly, effective monopoly that gatekeeps the entire internet for most people. There's a lot of people on the left trying to use the "it's a private company." I don't think that really applies here when they have a monopoly over their app stores. But we're going to get into that, including what Ron DeSantis said, after a super quick word from this video's sponsor, Sheath. Huge shout out to this video's sponsor. That's right, Sheath. These boxers are designed to keep your balls off your legs. Sheath has 3 individual compartments to keep everything down there separate and cool and comfortable. And hey, since they've been a long-time sponsor, I've heard from many of you who have tried out Sheath and really love it. They were invented by a U.S. Army soldier who came up with the idea for Sheath during his second tour in Iraq, where it was hot as heck and his boys needed to breathe. And on top of all sorts of awesome designs for Sheath, they've added all sorts of winter items, hoodies, gator necks, and all sorts of base layers. Head on over to the link in the description and pin comment down below. Use my promo code to save and support the channel and keep everything nice, cool, and dry. Okay. Huck. Huck. Hey. Come here. Huck. Hucky! Come here. Lay down. You're okay. I see it. No, I see it. Huck. Come here. Good boy. Lay down now. So first I want to get into what Ron DeSantis said this morning. Florida's Voice. Watch Ron DeSantis says Apple removing Elon Musk's Twitter from App Store warrants congressional response, which I 100% agree with. That would be huge, a huge mistake, and it would be a really raw exercise of monopolistic power that I think would merit a response from the United States Congress. Now, I will say this. I feel like, where was this energy with Parler? Because that was also a really raw exercise of monopolistic power. But okay, better late than never.
Then, when you also hear reports that Apple is threatening to remove Twitter from the App Store because Elon Musk is actually opening it up for free speech.
I mean, this is good. Now, I understand that a lot of these platforms cannot have like the dictionary definition of free speech. But what I will say, and what I've always said, is these platforms enjoy Section 230 protections, and in my opinion, should adhere to First Amendment rights. If they're legally protected from what people post or say on their platforms, then what does it matter? If advertisers don't want to advertise on that platform because of that, well, that's a thing. Okay, that's something. Now you see Elon has tweeted several times now. 5 minutes ago, the people have spoken. Apple should publish all censorship actions it has taken that affect its customers with an 85% yes rate. I can't believe anybody would vote no against that. And you see, if Community Notes can correct me, then obviously they can correct anyone. This is a good example. He's talking about how there is a lot of protection on this platform against misinformation. Elon writes, "This is a battle for the future of civilization. If free speech is lost, even in America, tyranny is all that lies ahead." With Mark Anderson writing, quote, "We look forward to a world founded upon 4 essential freedoms. The first is freedom of speech and expression everywhere in the world." A quote from FDR. Elon also tweeting, "The Twitter files on free speech suppression soon to be published on Twitter itself. The public deserves to know what really happened." And that may be exactly what he's talking about in terms of, it may be exactly what he's talking about in terms of the people have spoken. He's going to release these files. Lex Friedman saying Apple should support free speech. A lot of this is in reference to the revelation that, Apple users probably don't care. But the reality is Apple has for apparently a very long time told applications and software that uses their app store that there's certain information that their viewers, that the users of their hardware are not allowed to see or interact with. A lot of this is kind of going back to the COOF conversation. Many of the people that were banned from Twitter at that time are some of the people that are getting restored right now, which we've got a topic on that later. But if you're watching this video and you haven't yet subscribed, please do take a moment to hit that red subscribe button down below. If you have to create a YouTube account, I know it's a pain in the rear, but I also greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate it. Lex Friedman, Apple should support free speech. And I think this all stems from, obviously, Apple has also threatened to withhold Twitter from its app store, but will not tell us why. And it's true, and I think we kind of know why, right? We know why. You see here, Elon Musk, it's showing Community Notes for the win. There's a lot of people that are questioning exactly what's going on here. Here he's talking to David Sachs, who says, as long as tech mega, which is Microsoft, Apple, Google, and Amazon, have unlimited power to engage in bundling, and to act as gatekeepers of competitive products, there cannot be a healthy startup ecosystem. Elon writes, it's a real problem. Apple and Google effectively control access to most of the internet via their app stores. This is true. CNN posting articles like literally begging for censorship. Colin Wright, if you remember him, Swipe Right just got his account back. I think he had to sue Twitter for that. The massive immune response we are seeing from left-wing media and big tech to Elon Musk's commitment to free speech on Twitter should frighten you. It has been revealed their rabid obsession for complete control of the narrative. This is a battle they cannot be allowed to win. To which Elon writes, this is a battle for the future of civilization. If free speech is lost, even in America, tyranny is all that lies ahead. And we see lots of these ridiculous articles. Here's the Washington Post. Again, remember, owned by Jeff Bezos and a leftist shill outlet, in my opinion. Elon Musk is harming free expression on Twitter, not protecting it, by the editorial board. Oh, they don't want to put anybody's name on it? Isn't it curious that the Washington Post and all their glory and all their geniusness I won't sign their names to it? I mean, this is so far Mr. Musk has governed Twitter according to his whims. Actually, no, he's done a lot of polls and he's asked users what they want. You see this by Fortune. You're seeing basically the coordinated effort of the entire mainstream media. Elon Musk gutted Twitter's content moderation team. Now he's worried about tyranny if Apple deplatforms him, as if they are related. What do they need 4,000 or 5,000 content moderators for exactly? You know? Most of the moderation, if not all of it, was in lockstep with the Democratic establishment. I mean, which is the media is a part of. The media used to report corruption in the government and things like that. Now they just take their marching orders from the government. You literally printed this article, Christian Hetzer. At least you put your name on it. Like, you understand, you see Mark Cuban, come on, Elon Musk, we all know what free speech, read the government is because we can read the First Amendment and any related case law. We have no idea what free speech is on Twitter because you are judge and jury. There's no transparency. When do we see the Twitter Bill of Rights? Why not just say it's equal to the First Amendment then, Mark Cuban? Mounting criticism, not from its users. Not from its users. 100 articles today. Twitter rolls back COOF misinformation policy. From what I understand, Facebook and YouTube have already done this. Right? But it's news when Twitter does it. Elon Musk's Apple attack set stage for public spat with risks for Apple and Twitter. By calling attention to Apple's role as a gatekeeper for the app ecosystem, Mr. Musk is picking up the mantle in a years-long fight developers have waged against Apple and its fees. Remember, Epic Games, the people behind Fortnite and many others, also fought this battle. Mr. Musk could bring new focus to the company from lawmakers and regulators around the world, including politicians who have expressed concern that Silicon Valley is silencing conservative voices. Apple, of course, did not respond for comment. Apple stands to collect as much as 30% of revenue from Twitter subscriptions that Mr. Musk said are set to become a new focal point for the company. The company charges as much as 30% of app purchases or subscriptions placed through the App Store. Apple's cut of the subscription falls to 15% after the first year of use. Now, look, I have less of an issue with the 30% thing than I do with the moderation. If they're going to start, banning stores that they don't like, banning apps that they don't like, while still enjoying government protection, then I have a problem with that. They say on Monday, Mr. Musk sent out a meme to his almost 120 million followers showing a car careening off to an off-ramp, go to war, then the car pulling off road labeling, pay 30%. It is, you see, in Apple Store review guidelines, one of the earliest warnings the company makes is that apps should not include content that is offensive, insensitive, upsetting, or intended to disgust in exceptionally poor taste or just plain creepy. Just looks like Elon wants to pick a fight with Apple, said Philip Shoemaker, former senior director of the App Store review team at Google, who left in 2016, but I can't imagine him winning this one. When he oversaw the App Store content, Mr. Shoemaker said that Apple would tell app developers what they were in violation of before threatening to remove the app. Typically, he said, software makers were given 2 weeks to fix an issue, such as content moderation, before it began to reject app updates. Now, we'll see. I mean, Elon has said that they have not told him what it is. So it's going to be pretty interesting to watch this all play out. Obviously, I'm on the side of free speech. I am not an Apple user because I'm just not an Apple guy. So, I feel like less nervous about the outcome of this, but certainly it's better for everybody if Apple and Twitter can just come to a fair agreement here. And if it ends up this is really just about the 30%, I would be shocked. I think that Elon wants both right now. We're going to have to wait and see as this continues to amp up seemingly by the hour. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you check out the video's sponsor, Sheath. It's one of the lowest risk things you're going to do. And I know it seems weird to like consider different, undergarments, especially for men. We don't really think about it that often. But I think that you're going to like what Sheath has. And I think that if you don't, you've got really nothing to lose anyway. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.